and thank you all for joining us today. I'm Erin Uritis, the CEO of Out and Equal. I use she, her pronouns, and we are so grateful that all of you are here. All of you are helping us do this work to create workplaces where LGBTQ people and everyone can thrive. I did not expect to feel so emotional watching that video again, and I've seen it 100 times, but seeing our friends show up, Alex Rhodes, Kate, Beto, and others, what a warm reminder of what we did last year. We are really looking forward to this year's summit, and that's what we're here to talk to you about today. Last year, when we and every other organization out there was going virtual, it was really important for us to make sure that it was not just a big Zoom call where everyone was simply consuming content, but rather a highly engaging, interactive event where your organizations and employees were actually contributing to a dynamic dialogue and learning community. Now, we have become known for transformational experiences. I had one of my own with Out and Equal back in my 20s, and we knew that we couldn't afford to lose that magic of Summit at a moment last year when our community needed us most. So as you just saw in that video, we feel like we were able to innovate so that magic of Summit came through: substantive discussions, actual connection, and inspiration. And this year we're committed to outdoing what we did last year. We have all been living through a period of time unlike any other in history. I don't need to tell you that. We all know that our workplaces are rapidly changing. What work looked like before the pandemic is not what work looks like today, and it is not what the future of work will look like. Now, Dina is going to talk to us more about it a little bit later on, but I want to say that our theme this year is the future of work, because we are living through change that is certainly still evolving, but which will still absolutely be profound. And what will the future of work look like? Will it be better? Will it be worse? How can it be more inclusive? How can it be more queer? The answer is that it's up to all of us, the community of people and organizations who are part of Summit can help shape what the future of work will look like. And I look forward to Out and Equal continuing to be on this journey with you, her helping create really important transformational change for LGBTQ people and for everyone and for all workplaces. So thank you again for being here. I'm looking forward to a really exciting hour and for you all to hear about the exciting things we have up our sleeve this year. And with that, I will turn it over to the wonderful Derek Jandu on our team. Take it away, Derek.
Hi there. Thank you, Erin. And hello, partner family. I'm Derek Jandu. I use he, him pronouns. And I'm working here on the corporate engagement team at Out and Equal. And as someone who has attended Summit on behalf of a partner company, I personally can attest to the transformative experience that is attending Summit. I work here now. Summit's taking place from Wednesday, October 6th through Friday, October 8th. And while this year's event has been condensed to 3 days, we are just as committed to creating an impactful schedule with extremely rich content. One of the many positive aspects we learned from going virtual for the first time last year was the expanded reach and impact we were able to make. Feedback from company partners and attendees alike was that organizations were able to register attendees from around the world, including those who may not have had the chance to attend in person, due to travel restrictions, budget, or schedule restrictions. So in that way, virtual truly does mean global. And while the agenda is largely scheduled for business hours in Eastern Standard Time, the schedule is designed to accommodate various time zones with many sessions recorded for future viewing. Like last year and like every year, Summit is designed to offer robust programming with opportunities to connect, to engage, and to come away inspired and empowered. There'll be daily opportunities to not only deepen knowledge around LGBTQ and DEI issues, but to connect with other attendees during workshops, attend special premier sessions, networking events, and visit participating companies in the Virtual Engagement Center. And as always, there'll be daily plenary sessions showcasing thought leaders, change makers, and exciting LGBTQ headliners. And I know for a fact that the team is working hard on that. It's an exciting lineup we have. We'll go to the next slide, and I'll talk a little bit about the virtual platform and its capabilities. We're once again partnering with one of the world's leading virtual conference platforms, Pathable. And again, we'll fully leverage their capabilities to enable opportunities for connection, learning, leadership development, and of course, sharing out of subject matter expertise. Attendees will have access to the platform as early as September 28th and through October 29th. So all that rich content will be available for viewing through the end of October, the 29th of October. So do take advantage of that this year. And as members of our valued partner family, we encourage you to encourage all of your attendees to register early and take full advantage of the platform capabilities and features. You'll want to ask your people to build out their attendee profile by adding their photo, their LinkedIn profile and link, and a short bio. Once registered and the platform does go live, attendees can immediately enroll in individual sessions and actually build their entire summit agenda for the week. So remember, many high demand sessions reach capacity. So you want to encourage your folks to reserve their spots early. And then, as I've mentioned, and we keep mentioning, recordings of missed sessions can be viewed the next day and as soon as the same day. And finally, as this little pink box on the right is calling out, we realize that some organizations have Zoom restrictions, and the team here will be reaching out to those that require workaround. We gather that information upon registration. Next, I'll tell a little bit about workshops on the next slide. You know, and I know that Summit is renowned for educational opportunities and best practice sharing. Out and Equal is a global convener. It says right in our mission statement, actually, and our focus on peer-to-peer education allows for sharing of real life stories and strategies from those living and working on issues of LGBTQ workplace equality. Summit is powered by workshops. Yes, we have networking opportunities and professional development, but really the bulk of Summit is dedicated to knowledge sharing, and that is, of course, all in an effort to create and sustain LGBTQ inclusive workplaces. That's the business of belonging. That's the future of work, the theme, and that's building a future to be proud of. It says right there. But we can't do this without you, our valued partners. You guys are leading the way in LGBTQ workplace inclusion. So this is my call to action on behalf of our fearless Learning and Development Director, Isabel Porras, to get those proposals in. Do keep in mind that every year we receive hundreds of proposals. Last year, I think we had over 400. But of course, it resulted in 13 tracks of 150 workshops total. So a friendly reminder that the deadline to submit is this Friday, July 9th. Office hours with our Small But Mighty team is available in the remaining days through Friday through the end of the week. And of course, that will offer you an opportunity to ask very specific questions about your specific workshop proposal. So again, get those proposals in, and we'll see you at Summit. And we'll move forward. I'm wrapped. Thanks. I'm gonna hand it over to my colleague and also another fearless leader, Adam.
Thanks, Derek. Good afternoon, everyone. Good evening. Great to be with you today. The corporate engagement team and all of the staff are really excited to once again be able to highlight the commitment of our corporate partners in this virtual setting throughout the entire Summit experience. From the moment attendees step into our virtual event, our corporate partners will be recognized and appreciated across multiple avenues in bold and creative ways, including through the phone app that will mirror the experience taking place on your computer. I'm going to walk you through some of the innovative ways we're planning to achieve this during the week. And also keep in mind, we are still refining some of these opportunities, so there may be even more things once we actually open our virtual doors to kick off Summit. So one of the first areas where Summit attendees will be able to see our partners is right on the homepage. As soon as people log into the platform, they are greeted with an exciting welcome page that will really set the scene for a dynamic and engaging few days of learning and networking. Toward the bottom of the homepage, our higher tiered partners will be prominently featured on a rotating banner. And then throughout many of the other Summit pages, all of our partners will be highlighted on a similar rotating banner toward the bottom. If you click on any of these banners, it will bring you to our dedicated partners page. The partners page will feature a comprehensive display of logos of all current Out and Equal partners. The logos will be tiered and sized by level, starting with our titanium partners all the way through our brass partners. When attendees hover over a partner logo, they will be able to click on it and be taken to the Partners Engagement Center booth if they have one. There will also be a virtual partner book that attendees can flip through and peruse partner ads or creatives. Additionally, we will feature the partner ads in the post-summit impact report that will be sent to all attendees shortly after summit concludes. So all partner ads will be featured in the partner book and also in the Engagement Center booth if you have one. And then another place where we will proudly feature our partners is in our partner video reel, which will be played before each of the plenaries, as well as at other times throughout the programming. Okay, next slide. As we step further into the virtual summit experience, there will be even more ways that we will be able to spotlight companies' participation in this year's event. For example, you'll see at the top of the slide here a mock agenda showing some sessions. If your company is presenting a workshop or hosting a plenary or a roundtable, your logo will appear within the event description. And if you click into the event, your logo will again show up on the actual event page, along with other pertinent details about the event. But where the partners can really enhance their visibility and interaction during this year's virtual summit experience is in the Engagement Center. Next slide. So for partners that have chosen to secure a booth as a benefit of their agreement this year, they will be able to create their own customized virtual booth within the Summit Engagement Center. So for this year, technically, the daily live hours of the Engagement Center will start on Tuesday, the pre-conference day, from 12:30 to 1:30 p.m., and then from 3:30 to 5:30 p.m. Eastern times. Then when the full conference kicks off on Wednesday through Friday, the live hours will be from 9:30 to 10:30 in the morning, and then from 2:30 to 5 p.m. in the afternoon, all Eastern times. And although the live hours mean we will be encouraging attendees to stop by your booths during these hours, which also means that these are the timeframes when you should consider staffing your booth with at least 1 to 2 representatives. Really, attendees can pop into the booth whenever they like, including the week before Summit opens, as well as during the entire week of Summit, and even for a few more weeks after the conference concludes. So to get to the Engagement Center, attendees will go to the top of the website, hover over the Engagement Center and click on Virtual Booths. They will then be taken to the list of all Engagement Center participants showcasing their logos, which will again be tiered by partner level, with the higher partners showing up larger. When attendees find a company they want to explore, they just click on the logo tile and they'll be magically transported into a virtual booth. Next slide, please. And so here we are inside a Partner Engagement Center booth. Each booth can and should be customized with a number of exciting and, yes, engaging features. We recommend that each partner curate their booths with some important elements, including your logo, of course, a header banner that you will need to create using graphic specs unique to that space, a brief About Us paragraph setting the tone for your booth and laying out your narrative, 1 to 2 company website links, which can take attendees to wherever you'd like to direct them, your Pride ERG website or your diversity page, perhaps a link to your open job opportunities. Now, this will be important if your focus of the booth is on recruitment, since we are not technically having a dedicated career fair at this year's event, which I'll speak about more to in just a bit. A graphic, we recommend putting your partner ad here, in an embedded video link with whatever content you'd like to feature, perhaps a recruitment video or a diversity clip. Your booth representatives will also be prominently displayed in your booth. And because there is not a specific career fair element this year, you can have up to 6 representatives staffing your Engagement Center during those live hours I mentioned earlier. If your company is participating in any of the other summit programming, those showcase tags will show up here in the booth. We also highly encourage Engagement Center participants to provide some type of promotional deal or coupon inside their booths as a way to entice and reward attendees who visit your booth, as well as market your own brand. And similar to last year, a really cool aspect of hosting a booth in a virtual environment is your ability to run reports on the back end to track visits to your booth so you can see who is coming in, how long they're staying, whether they're watching videos, and several other key metrics as you decide which visitors you might want to follow up with. We will get deeper into these capabilities as well as many other aspects of the Engagement Center during a training call later next month so that you have all of the necessary information and tools you'll need in order to show up in the most fabulous way during Summit. Next slide, please. Okay, so as I alluded to earlier, we've made the decision not to host a specific career fair as part of this year's event. There really isn't a whole lot of time in our packed schedule to dedicate a significant portion of a day to a career fair. And considering we're in this virtual environment that does have some limitations, we want to instead focus on ways that you can maximize your recruitment success if that is one of your goals for Summit. And what's nice is there are still many ways you can do this and hopefully find some great candidates along the way. So some of the key suggestions we offer you this year include searching attendees within the Summit profile. Any attendee can search for other attendees using specific search criteria, whether it's by job industry, years of experience, regional interests, and of course, there's an interested in career opportunities designation that folks can add when they're registering. Recruiters can reach out directly to attendees they may be interested in and set up their own one-on-one meetings via their preferred phone or video communication platform. We've also encouraged attendees to include their LinkedIn profile page so that recruiters can go directly to those pages and request interviews that way if they'd like. And if recruitment is an objective for your engagement center booth, then definitely make sure to include videos, web pages, skills and expertise that you may be appealing to attendees who are looking for new opportunities. It would also be wise to include contact info for folks from your HR or talent acquisition teams. If there are workshop sessions this year that focus on recruitment and retention strategies for LGBTQ employees, then we highly encourage you or your colleagues to attend those sessions. You can also attend networking sessions that will be offered during the week, where you'll be connected to other attendees in more intimate settings and can keep an eye out for potential talent. I'll chat more about the networking sessions in a minute. And of course, you can always join our LGBTQ career link page on LinkedIn, where you can post jobs for free, and which currently has more than 2,300 members. Okay, next slide. Okay, so what are these networking opportunities I speak of? Well, we all know that one of the most memorable and exciting aspects of our annual Workplace Summit is the opportunity to meet new folks and engage in meaningful and fulfilling conversations. And we know that when you bring together so many people from diverse backgrounds with tons of knowledge and experience who have similar passions about enhancing the quality of life for LGBTQ career professionals, that it can be a transformative experience. But we also know that it's hard to replicate this environment in a virtual setting. So last year we introduced networking sessions, which is a format of our workshops designed to bring together Summit attendees in a more intimate setting. We then break out into smaller groups, and with some fun conversational questions that the groups can answer and discuss, it creates stronger connections, adds another dimension to what we're learning during the conference, and can even kickstart some friendships and professional relationships. And then, of course, as I mentioned earlier, any attendee can search other attendee profiles and filter by category to find other folks they might want to connect with based on their preferences, and can reach out directly to them within the Summit platform. Finally, another really great networking element that we're bringing back this year is the Buddy program. This program, excuse me, this program pairs you with a few other attendees and offers the opportunity to connect prior to the start of Summit, get to know each other, and encourages you to share your experiences of Summit by checking in a few times during the event, as well as after Summit concludes. Those who participated last year reported back that it was a really great way to meet new folks, foster stronger connections, and who knows, maybe you'll meet an actual new buddy in this virtual environment. Okay, so that's it for me right now. I'll be happy to answer questions at the end of the presentation, but for now I'd like to hand it over to my rockstar colleague, someone who rarely needs an introduction, but always loves a good setup, our Chief Programs and Partnerships Officer, Dina Fadas, who is going to talk with you about the Audi Awards, as well as this year's overarching theme, the future of work. It's all yours, Dina.
Sorry, thank you so much, Adam. And again, it's wonderful to see so many friends in the chat box. So I have the pleasure of talking briefly about one of my absolute favorite moments at Summit. Some of you may know or may not know that my first year on staff here at Out and Equal was actually my 13th Summit. And year over year, there is truly this magical moment and set of moments that happens around the Audis. And I say that because I know so many of you you work hard on your corporate equality index score or your Stonewall score. And, these benchmarks out in the world are significant. They reflect a lot of work. And at the same time, they don't always tell the story of the transformative figures behind that internal change. The image that you see on the screen here is one of my favorites. It still kind of gives me goosebumps. This was the extraordinary ERG from India, from Bank of America, India, that won at our last in-person summit in Washington. And it was a deeply emotional experience because, there are so many people who contribute to anything from the first time a company opens a chapter of an ERG in maybe a difficult environment, or the first time that your company finds its voice in the public policy realm. And those are often, unsung heroes. And so this is our time to sing. This is our time to laud them. For those of you that are newer to Summit, I'm going to go ahead and very briefly touch on these categories. They have become relatively standard year over year. We look at workplace excellence. Now, this is a holistic set of criteria that our review committee will look at, and it really speaks to not just, do you have 100% on the various indices, but how is LGBTQ inclusion and belonging being led from the top? How is it also a grassroots effort within the firm? How is it being globalized? So it's really that 360-degree view of the prioritization of LGBTQ inclusion and belonging. We also take a global view of our ERG of the year, so certainly not a US only category. We recognize that an employee resource group may do transformative work in its 10th year, and we want to create that space to recognize them. We also, in our third category, fully recognize that it's often those fledgling ERGs that really deserve recognition and in many ways can inspire others. Summit is this extraordinary moment where thousands of people are joining from around the world, some of whom are new in their career, some of whom have been with the same company for 20 years. But this is our opportunity to sort of refresh and innovate and create that space to say, wow, look what, last year it was JP Morgan's ERG in Poland, operating under some frankly really difficult circumstances. We also look for those incredible individual advocates, the LGBTQ Corporate Advocate of the Year, and the really beloved category of Ally Changemaker. In addition to these foundational categories, these sort of pillars of the Audis every year, we recognize that we're also in a new moment. This is obviously our second virtual summit. We have weathered extraordinary social change, the changes under the pandemic, and more. And Karina, I'll ask you if you don't mind to just go ahead to the next slide. We have carved out in consultation with our partners 2 of our new categories. So again, thank you. It's the first one, Belonging and Equity Visionary. This is, if I were to just set aside the blurb here, the paragraph, I would say this is where we shake free from lofty talk about, intersectionality, gender, race, LGBTQ inclusion, as if it's, this kind of intellectual bubble over our heads. And we are looking at those companies or agencies that are giving meaning to that term, that are pushing the envelope in terms of the internal programming, not just the powerful words of a CEO, but how are you taking what are admittedly some difficult conversations happening right now around racial justice, around privilege, around intersectional identities, and translating that into sustainable programming, and ideally programming that, again, other companies or agencies can learn from and can even replicate. And so on this, we are looking not just for the visionary aspirational language, but really the practices that have been put in place over the last year. The second category here that we're particularly excited about, our deepest roots outside of the United States are in Brazil, China, and India. with increasing reach and global networks across the APAC region and across Latin America. And so this is a category that is brand new this year and designed to recognize these priority regions where we have so many relationships and, where change is happening. This is where earlier this year, we had some of the highest attendance to participate in focused programming on non-binary inclusion in the workplace. And so whether you are, an individual employee within an ERG, but if you are a powerful advocate that's transforming your workplace, we want to hear from you, or we want to hear somebody nominating you, or whether you are C-suite and leading systemic change across an entity within a multinational or within a regional employer, these brand new categories are for you. And, again, I'll sort of underscore, and maybe Karina, if you don't mind just going to that prior slide for just one moment. Thank you so much. I mentioned that the Audis are magical, and they really are. I also want to note that there are practical implications here. What we feature on the stage from the winners, we then see 10 times over in the coming months. And what I mean specifically is, we have seen growth in ERGs in India as an almost direct result of featuring the incredible work of Bank of America. When we have CEOs and C-suite leaders speaking with clarity and getting recognition for it on their relationship to trans youth and fighting for trans rights in the public square, we then hear about it 5 months later. It was because of that moment on stage that our CEO was able to finally see the path forward to get our company invested in Tennessee or speaking out in Texas, where these anti-LGBTQ bills are proliferating. So I'd love for you to think about it as, yes, your moment to shine. And we invite you to share your success and your journey, because we know that your peers are watching. They're cheering you on, and then right after summit, they're kind of going back to their teams and saying, how can we be on that stage next year? And it's really an extraordinary opportunity to have that level of influence across the participants and have truly global reach. So thank you, Karina, for flipping around just a bit. Let's go to that recap slide on these key dates. So again, I know many of you, we certainly do have applications in the door. The deadline is this Friday, July the 9th. Just in case any of you, you've been on family leave or you're just tuning in, absolutely, it's worth your while to get that hustle going and turn in a nomination. We are a small but mighty team managing a conference of over 5,000 people. And so I'm going to go ahead and say that we cannot guarantee extended deadlines. At the same time, we really do urge you to go ahead, submit that application. If you need to add a few tweaks next week, that generally should be fine. But we'd love to have you in the door, and it's really an enriching process all around. If you are one of our honorees, you will be notified in early August. So you'll have that prep time to work with your own comm shop. You'll be working with us. You'll be notified that you're an honoree. You won't be notified that you are a winner. We do keep that Oscars feel to the event. And then briefly, I think some of you know this, but this is not a popularity contest. These extensive, the review process is done by an outside committee of experts, bringing diverse perspectives to bear, including some former honorees. And they're really sort of looking across elements of, is this sustainable? Does this demonstrate a full enterprise-wide commitment to inclusion, and more? And then, of course, we love to brag about you. If you are an honoree and certainly a winner, but that whole category of honorees, you'll be featured across our various channels. Think social media, our conference website, you'll be recognized at Summit, and then the power of your individual advocates and best practices will live on in the Out and Equal Global Hub. Thank you so much, Karina. And so the theme this year is the future of work is, and no, that's not a typo, that is blank right there. It is because the future of work is a creation and a co-creation of all of us. We know headed into Summit this year, the future of work is more diverse. The future of work, in large part, is increasingly rejecting the gender binary. The future of work is truly global. The dialogue happening in downtown Atlanta about racial justice is having ripple effects and being compared by colleagues in downtown Sao Paulo who are also dealing with racism, colorism, and craving that connection to their US counterparts and vice versa. The future of work is younger. The future of work is increasingly made up of allies. As more and more of us come out as LGBTQ individuals, our allies multiply from parents, children, friends, mentors. We have more and more people with a personal investment in inclusion and belonging. And I'll just punctuate here to say that the future of work, in part, is unknown. And why do I highlight that? Because the magic of Summit is that this is where we identify our current challenges. We are able to connect with people and come out with identities that perhaps were rarely noted a decade ago. The future of work as of, this second week in July in 2021 is still being determined. And a lot of it will be given voice, shape, texture, and a path forward at Summit this year. And that's, again, really where the magic happens, where we have closed door roundtables where people are connecting and saying, wow, I had no idea that, there were so many people in my position, whether it's, a single mom who's bisexual and everybody in the ERG assumes she's an ally, or the parent of a transgender child who can see through the networks at Out and Equal that, wow, we committed parents, we are a force to be reckoned with. So there's so much ahead. The future is absolutely something that we are going to be shaping. It takes the collective power of all of us. And I am so looking forward to seeing you all at Summit this year. So thanks again for tuning in. We're going to pause now, and I invite my colleagues to go on camera as appropriate as we look at some of the questions coming in the chat box. So